Hi everyone. I know it's Sunday and you're not used to an Israel brief, and you're certainly not used to this look. For those of you who are joining for the first time, I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel brief, where I bring you the top stories making news in Israel. Now I'm currently in my mamad, my safe room. We've just had a warning for all civilians to go into their safe rooms as a attack from Iran is imminent. And of course, you can't see who else is in the safe room with me. It is day 618, and we can't forget that while many people celebrate Father's Day around the world, for many fathers in Israel who were taken captive on the 7th of October, they are still being held in the dungeons of Gaza. We want them all home now. So why am I speaking to you on a Sunday, which is out of schedule? Because on Friday morning, in the early hours of Friday morning, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion. This is an operation that has been launched to eliminate the Iranian nuclear threat. Now, I want to stress that our issue with Iran is not with the people of Iran. In fact, we stand by the proud people of Iran who have lived under the tyranny of the regime for over 40 years, a regime that oppresses women, a regime that hangs members of the LGBTQ plus community, some as young as 13 years old, a regime that clamps down on all civil liberties. But Iran has stated time and again their intention to eliminate the state of Israel. And they're not going to end with Israel. The next targets on their agenda are the United States, the United Kingdom, and the Western world. And certainly in the last 2 days, we have seen world leaders saying to Israel they support our right to defend ourselves, and that under no circumstances can Iran get the nuclear weapon. So let's take a look at what has happened in the now 48 hours. And I do apologize if I have to suddenly go off, because that will be a siren and it will disrupt the recording, and I want all focus to be on our safety here. So why did Israel launch Operation Rising Lion? I mean, just the name Rising Lion is very, very symbolic. It not only alludes to the scriptures in the book of Numbers, where it says a nation that rises like a lioness will lift itself like a lion and devour its prey, but also when you look at the flag of the old Iran, the Iran under the Shah, it has a big lion and a sun in the middle. So we understand, and you would have noticed in your cities around the world, that every time you see a pro-Israel rally, you see Iranians flying that flag, standing with us, because they know that our fight is their fight, and our fight is your fight. So starting in the early hours of Friday morning, the Israeli Air Force, and here I want to salute the extraordinary men and women of the Israel Defense Forces, including the Air Force, the Navy, the Mossad, everybody who is working around the clock, fighting and defending our country, started to attack the certain sites in Iran that are related to the nuclear program. To date, they have attacked nuclear plants, plants with centrifuges, members of the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps High Command, members of the Air Force Command, an oil field yesterday, any areas that are developing centrifuges, scientists working on the nuclear program, defense headquarters, and various other targets that you can find more about them online. In response, Iran has unleashed attacks on Israeli citizens, on Israeli civilians like myself and my family who are behind the camera now. To date, the death toll is at 14. We've just had news that somebody else has died as a result of the attacks. We have about 3 people missing, and we have hundreds who have been injured, some of them severely. Some of the victims from last night's attack include children. So Iran is attacking civilians while we attack specific nuclear and military targets. Now, why now? Why the timing? If you have been following the events of the last couple of months, you will know that President Trump issued Iran an ultimatum. You have 60 days. Friday was day 61. Now, following intelligence, very, very, very specific intelligence that our intelligence agencies gleaned, it showed that not only was Iran very, very close, or is very, very close to obtaining a nuclear bomb, but they have enough uranium for 9 nuclear missiles. What they will do with that is absolutely unthinkable. We also had the IAEA report issued last week. This is the first time in 20 years, and I think I spoke a little bit about it on Thursday, that they had sounded the alarm for Iran crossing the threshold for nuclear safeguards. So all the evidence was there. Now, in an incredible ruse, or as the Brits would say, blinder, played by President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, we had that good cop, bad cop kind of rhetoric where you heard President Trump saying, he's against attacks, he doesn't want that to happen, he prefers negotiations. But in the last couple of days, he has said that we knew all about Israel's intentions, and he said, it's not too late for Iran to come to the table. He says, or Israel's going to attack with much more lethal force. Now, coming out in support of the state of Israel have been countries like Germany, France, various other allied countries saying absolutely unequivocally that Israel has the right to defend herself and Iran cannot get a nuclear bomb. Now, while countries like Germany and the United Kingdom and France prefer diplomacy, it is very, very clear that the Iranians are not going to go with any kind of diplomatic solution. And we are now at a point of no return. In fact, I think one of our army chiefs said we are at a point of no return. So as I sit here, Israel is on an emergency war footing. Schools are closed, clinics are closed, non-essentials are closed, everybody is at home. Hospitals are on a war footing, moving all the intensive care patients to safe places. We have had significant damage as a result of these much more sophisticated missiles being fired at Israel to buildings around the country. Now, I want to be clear because I don't think many people realize just how severe this is. This is not a war that we've had with Hezbollah or Hamas. This is a war with an enemy that is more evil, that is more murderous than anything that we have had to deal with before. Israelis understand that we are paying a steep price for this. We're paying a steep price in lives, in homes, in our living situation at the moment. But we also understand very well the alternative. And for anyone out there who's celebrating the Iranian strikes on Israel, don't underestimate the Israeli strength and resolve. And while today is a very difficult day for us, as we have a high death toll, we are standing resolute. Now, the IDF Chief of Staff, Brigadier General Eyal Zamir, announced earlier today that we had also struck targets in Yemen, including the Houthi leader. Now, it's unclear whether or not that was a success, but he did confirm that to media a short while ago. So I'm going to end this broadcast because any minute we could have another siren, and as I said, I want all focus to be on our personal safety. And I want to take a moment to salute the men and women of the IDF Home Front Command, the IDF Spokespersons Unit, Zaka, United Hatzalah, Magen David Adom, the incredible Israel Police, Israel Fire and Rescue Services, and all first responders who are working around the clock on rescue and recovery operations, and also to keep us safe. And I also want to salute the incredible, brave people of the state of Israel. I have never loved you all more than I do in this very, very moment. Every single one of you is absolutely extraordinary. We will prevail. We will come through this. Am Yisrael Chai. And guys, I will see you again tomorrow for a lot more regular programming. So today there is no, there are no questions. Today I wanted to put you guys in the picture with what is happening. Hey, I didn't even brush my hair or put on any makeup. So guys, take care of yourselves, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.